Welcome to Walibi Holland. In this video I am going to share some hints and tips to make sure that your next trip is a good one. And that starts with, well, where do you start in the park? Well, the tip that I have, and what I tried today, was I started over at Goliath because nobody goes that way in the morning. Everyone goes to things like Untamed, etc. I went over to Goliath and literally walked straight on it. So start your morning there and then work your way around. As is the norm these days, the park has a mobile app. It's not the best mobile app, but it's not the worst. It does have queue times, it does have a map, although if you ask for directions, it'll just sort of say it's here and then you've got to find your way around the map. Not the worst, but you know, it doesn't guide you, tell you the most efficient route. It lists all the restaurants, but there's no mobile ordering, and I don't know about photos because I haven't done that. So if you don't know your way around, it's handy to at least have the park map and see the queue times. But yeah, worth having, but definitely not the best app I have seen for a theme park. Right, so one obvious question when you visit a park is how long do you need? Well, I have been here since the park opened this morning. It is now 5 o'clock and there's still 3 hours left. I've done everything. I have been on every ride. I have re-ridden things as well. And there's only 2 things closed today, the train and one of the flat rides. So really, you can get on stuff in a day. They've also got tons of single rider queues in most of the attractions, and they seem to love a fast track too. So if you are here and it is busier, either single rider it. I literally just walked on Goliath, didn't even wait on the next train, just straight at the station, on the train, done. So plenty of options to skip the queues, but I would say one day and you're done. Just to add to that, the single riders are on Space Shot, Goliath, Lost Gravity, Speed of Sound, Condor and Untamed. So basically most things, they got you covered. One thing to be careful of is make sure you have had breakfast before you get to the park. We were here for park opening. We kind of skipped past a few McDonald's on the way here, thinking we'll just get in the park, get on a ride and then get breakfast. A lot of food options aren't open that early, and the ones that were more kind of lunchtime fare, so your burgers, chicken burgers, that kind of thing. So yeah, don't come here expecting breakfast, because you ain't gonna get it. Now, something you kind of expect nowadays everywhere, but you'd be surprised how many parks don't do it, is Wi-Fi. This one does. This does have free Wi-Fi, so if you're an international guest and you're limited roaming charges, or if you just got no signal, they got you covered, because you can hop on the free Wi-Fi. Right, the park's got a number of different food options, whether it's little stalls like this or kind of more sit-down restaurants. There is pizza, there is burgers, that kind of stuff. But they are more than happy to let you bring your own food in, which could obviously save you a few quid or euros if you're here as a family. So, one to do. Now, speaking of food and indeed the Yummy Tummy, this one is actually a really good place because they have a noodle section, they have a Greek wrap section, they have a Mexican section, and they have a pizza section, so tons and tons of choice. Limited on the vegetarian options, but they do have a couple as well, and all good. Now, in all the larger attractions, you can opt for parent swap. You know, that service where you've got a little kid who can't ride, or won't ride, and 2 adults who want to. So tell a member of staff, and one of you should be able to wait at the end with the child and switch places afterwards. So save you queuing twice. Now, that is one thing that all the major coasters here have outside, and that is a test seat. And I would strongly recommend that you try them because some of the restraints are not the most forgiving. I almost called it Iron Gwazi. Untamed, RMC's restraints I'm not a huge fan of. And apparently I'm not the right body shape for it. I have a bit of a belly and no thighs. And I suspect if I had thighs and no belly, I'd feel a lot better in it. Goliath, those seatbelts are quite short. So definitely try out those test seats before you go on the ride. Right, if you're coming here with really young kids, they do have these dotted around the park. Now, when we came in this morning, there was somebody at the entrance to the park who would check your kid's height, and then they put a coloured wristband on. Basically means when you then get to an attraction, they don't have to check your height. So if you're coming here with a kid that can't ride everything, or who can just ride everything and needs to prove it, go up to one of those, you'll find them around the park, get a coloured wristband, and then it makes your life a little easier. You can just walk on the attractions. Right, if you have got big bags or you just can't be bothered carrying stuff, they do have lockers inside the Sunset store just at the entrance to the park. Between €5 and €7 depending on which size you go for. But yeah, if you don't want to carry your stuff around, come and get a locker. So I am inside Yummy Tummy, which is near the Speed of Sound. I'm assuming you're allowed to use these, but under the table there are some power sockets, so if you need to charge something, happy days. Right, a couple of things about drinks in this park. I'm not sure quite what this is, but we saw the same thing in Efteling. They don't do Diet Coke, they do full fat Coke and they do Coke Zero. We have seen Diet Coke in the supermarkets, it just doesn't seem to be popular in the park, so if you like Diet Coke, pick something else. They also give you reusable cups here, and if you return those cups, they print out a QR code that you scan, you fill in your bank details, and you get €1.50 back for each cup. So don't throw them in the bin like we did yesterday. Whoops. Right, this is a no smoking park. Although I have seen some people kind of pushing it, they do have dedicated zones for smoking. So if you are a smoker, please find those zones and use them. Here, one thing if you're coming here and it is a busy day, this park absolutely loves their fast pass, their express lane, whatever it is they call it. It is everywhere, everywhere, and they have a couple of different options, but you can get one that, you know, gets you on all the rides, or you can do single shots. So there's just that one attraction that you're struggling on. I'm quite lucky, the 2 days I've been here, the queues are quite small. Plus, as I mentioned earlier, they single rider everything, mostly. So for me, I've managed to just walk straight on things. But if you're in a group and it is busy and there's that one attraction you can't get on, FastPass has you covered. Right, so some of the places have these reusable cups. I'm in Yummy Tummy right now. Now they've got a little QR code on them, and you scan the machine and it gives you 17 seconds and 400 millilitres to fill it up. Despite it being a reusable cup, it is single use. I mean, I'm sure I could go back and pay to get another usage out of it, but even though you self-dispense, you can't just keep filling up the drink. Kind of begs the question, why don't they just fill it up and give it to you? But do not forget to give them back because you get €1.50. Right, there are obviously public transport options to get here, but if you are bringing your car, just beware that you have to pay. And at the time of recording, it is €12 a day. So just make sure you budget for that. You can buy it in advance, get a ticket, and then job done. Now, one other thing, and this is reasonably standard in most theme parks, but I would say it's most notable here. Coasters warm up, right? They get faster, they get smoother as the day goes on, as the kind of grease and all that gets going. I would say the rides here are fairly bland first thing in the morning, but they're pretty good later on in the day. So just bear that in mind. If you're only coming for a couple hours, maybe come in the afternoon instead of coming first thing, and you'll have a better ride experience. Alright, well there is a selection of hints and tips for your next visit. If you visit this park regularly and you get any extra tips, please put them in the comments below for other people. If you have enjoyed this, hit that like button, consider subscribing. I've been Chris, you've been watching Coaster Dad. I shall see you in the next one. Adios.